Hi, Jenny.
Hi, we have Brittany Dodson here with us today on the Essence of Tea podcast. So we have Brittany and I'm Jenny, the host of the Essence of Tea podcast. And we're going to introduce you to this amazing young lady who is actually quite the tea connoisseur. And I just happened to meet her on social media. I know, isn't that kind of crazy? I mean, I know I'm a lot older than you are, but when I was in high school, we had MySpace. There was no such thing as Facebook yet, so that's kind of how old I am. But we're kind of broadcasting everywhere right now. So if you're watching right now, say hello in the chat. We have some Facebook people saying hi in the chat right now. So hello, Facebook users. Say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. You might be watching on Facebook. You might be watching on Twitter or YouTube. And I know Brittany has let people know on her Instagram stories and friends and family and fans to join us today as we talk about her journey into tea from Hawaii all the way to Hollywood. So thank you so much, Brittany, for joining us today.
I'm glad to be on and talking to you again. I had such a good conversation with you when I did my Instagram live, and so I'm happy to be talking to you again. It's been really fun.
Yeah. So I found out about Brittany, I don't know how, it's probably been at least a year ago. And I just have seen your posts about tea and different teas that you make and bubble tea, which, who doesn't love a good boba,
Yeah,
everywhere.
exactly.
And we're both originally from states that are not connected to like the lower 48. So you're from Hawaii, I'm from Alaska, and now you're in California, right?
Yes, now I live in Los Angeles, or Hollywood, as you'd call it.
Yeah, and I actually have a lot of family who live in like Southern California, like LA area. So I have some friends who actually, I think one of them still lives in Hollywood. He's an actor and a model too, and he's actually from Alaska. So
Well,
yeah, yeah.
there's so many people here. So it's like I'm amazed all the time. I find so many people from Hawaii, especially that are doing acting, and I'm like, how is it that I meet so many people from Hawaii and then are also, interested in acting? It's amazing how we just like all link up and meet up. You'll find people from Alaska here, like it's crazy.
Yeah. So, Brittany, would you like to introduce yourself and let people know what you do? Like, what do you do, like in California? How did you, get from Hawaii to Hollywood? And for those of you, like some of my followers might not know who you are. So, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm Brittany Ann Dodson, and I I'm from Hawaii. I grew up on the Big Island, and I started acting in Hawaii. I moved to Oahu, and then I lived there for 4 years before I moved to LA. And I guess, on Oahu, they have actually a lot of stuff that they shoot there in Honolulu. So I just, was curious about it and thought it was fun. So I was like, I'm going to move over to Oahu. It's just one island over and start seeing if I can get into, TV and television and movies there. And so that's what I did. And they filmed a lot of stuff over there, like Hawaii Five-O at the time. Movies like Jurassic World and King Kong and all sorts of stuff. And so I just kind of started taking acting classes there and I loved it. I just found passion for acting and the artistic side of me kind of came out that way. And then yeah, I started working on some stuff over there. I auditioned. I had an agent in Hawaii and um, thought that was really cool. I was like, wow, I can get an agent. And yeah, I started auditioning for stuff. I auditioned for Hawaii Five-O a bunch of times. And I never actually booked a role on Hawaii Five-O, but it was nice, to learn and to do training in a small market. So that way, when I got here, I kind of understood the process a little bit better. But that's also in Hawaii is where I fell in love with tea, you know, like growing up on the Big Island. I don't know if I mean, Hawaii is a big Asian influenced culture. It's all Asians there, and that's kind of what I grew up with. So yeah, I found a tea house where I live, and I would go there all the time. And it was basically just me going there every day and drinking tea with the lady that owned it. And we would talk, and I just loved our conversations, and I loved the tea. And that's kind of where I started getting to know tea. And then obviously, when I moved out here, there's a lot more, you know, options and a lot more to learn. So I just became more and more curious. But yeah, so after I, you know, spent 4 years on Oahu, I moved over to LA and then started working here. I work in the film and television industry, so I've been doing a lot of things. I've done stunts when I was in Hawaii. I worked on Jumanji, and then I work as a stand-in and a production assistant, and I just try to do as much as I can because there's not always a lot of opportunities to act. I mean, I audition a lot and I have, you know, representation, and I've been a member of the Screen Actors Guild for 6 years now. So I love acting so much, but it's, you know, hard to get opportunities sometimes. So in the meantime, I love to do content online. Like I love Instagram and TikTok. I can make my own videos and kind of make stuff the way I like it, and that kind of helps me with my acting, you know, being creative in that way. And that's kind of how I came across you because I love making videos, and I'm like, I want to showcase tea companies, you know, because I love tea so much, and I just want to, you know, see what's out there and give people a platform to show like, hey, I have this tea and this farm, and it's fascinating to me and fun for me, and that's the reason why I started it, not necessarily um, to gain a following. I've grown over the years my following because, you know, living in LA, you meet a lot of people, and then those people have a lot of followings, and so they follow you, and then it just kind of like grows from there. But I'm happy to be, you know, doing what I love and working with people like you, and just, yeah, making videos online has been really fun. So it's a
Yeah, and
lot.
it's so no. That's totally fine. I mean, this podcast is about you. So, uh, but yeah, so what I find is like so fascinating is like you started going to a tea house by
Mhm.
yourself. Like, what made you go to a tea house by yourself? I mean, are you Asian? Are you part Asian?
I'm not, you know what? But that's the thing, is that like living in Hawaii, I went to school with like I didn't even like think about it. All my friends were like, you know, part Hawaiian, Filipino, some Chinese, and so I was just kind of like blended in with it. But my friends, you know, when you're younger, there's not a lot of people who want to go to a tea house and sit down and have tea. They're just like, Why would I do that? Like that's boring." So I don't know, I was just a strange kid that was, like, fascinated with it, and I was like, "This is so delicious," and I don't know, I wanted to learn more about, like, the history and the culture, and, I think also I connected with, Lynn May was her name. I really connected with her because we spent time together, and, you know, her tea shop wasn't always filled with customers, so I would just kind of sit down and we would have tea together, and that's kind of where my love of tea started. But her shop was mostly, I think, pu'er tea, if not all of it was just pu'er tea. Yeah, she was from China.
Yeah. And so that's, I mean, you kind of bring up a really good point. Like our tea house here in Fairbanks, we're a restaurant, but we're not like a regular restaurant. We're a tea house. So we're not always
Mhm,
packed full of people, like not super busy and congested and stressful like a coffee shop. Like not that kind of a
yeah,
buzz, but more like people get to interact with me, people can interact with my staff and have more time if it's not like a busy Saturday afternoon where people are coming and buying gifts too on top of that. But
mhm,
but that's one thing
which
I
is
love
nice.
about the tea community is like you can just like chat with anyone there at the tea shop. Like even someone just sitting down having tea by themselves. Like it's very inviting and
Mhm,
friendly for like all people who are
mhm,
there. And that connection is just so powerful because it gives you opportunities that you would have never thought of. I mean, just
Yeah.
not opportunities as in advancing your career or anything, but opportunities to grow and to just like discover new things and learn about somebody else and like the life lessons they can teach you, especially, for you, you probably got to know like this older lady. And for me, I get to meet these younger kids who are totally, well, sometimes we have these customers who are really into anime. I don't know anything about anime. I don't even really watch anime, but they'll come in because of a certain pu'er tea or whatever
Oh,
Chinese tea
wow.
ceremony thing. And I'm like, cool. I don't know what
That's
you're talking
funny.
about, but sounds very fascinating. Tell me more. So,
It's cool because
yeah.
it makes it not about, like, the buying and the selling and not like a regular store, because you can just buy tea online, you know? You don't necessarily
Mhm.
need to go to a store now. So, I think what was different was she wasn't about the selling, like, "Oh, I gotta sell all my tea." It was more about, like, "How can I, help you with certain teas?" Like, maybe this tea would be really good for you and for me. At the time, I was drinking a lot of caffeine and I was just wrecking my stomach because of the acidity. And so I just told her that, and she was like, "You know what? Let's just try this really old, like, pour tea." I think it was like 10 years old or something. And
Ooh,
it
that's a
was
good
very
one.
it was a really expensive one, but she has little nuggets. I don't know exactly what they're called, the little tiny ones that you wrap in paper. But
Oh yeah, the tocha, like a little tiny, like
yes.
a button looks like, and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
wrapped in paper. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I, tried that and I stopped, drinking coffee and stuff like that, and, I felt a lot better. I didn't feel like, caffeine would give you, like, really jittery and anxiety, and I just felt really nice, and I was like, "Wow, this is so nice," and so I was like, "Man, I there's, like, so much to learn about tea and how you can and benefit from it," and I'm always fascinated by, like, health and wellness, and so that's also how I got into it too, because I like to do things that will be good for you and kind of make you live forever. And yeah, because I look young, but I'm kind of like obsessed with looking younger. I'm older than most people think that I am, which is kind of cool, but it's because I've always paid attention to, how you can do things to better yourself and your skin and like your body and just take care of yourself. I've always been obsessed with it, so tea's become a big part of that.
Well, like hanging around a bunch of Asians in Hawaii, like us Asians always look really young until one day we're just like so old.
Mm,
That's what we joke about.
that's
Like
funny.
with my grandma, like with my grandma, she turned 101 and people saw pictures of her and we're like, whoa, how old is your grandma? I'm like, she's 101. And they're like, whoa, she's 101. I'm like, yeah, that's why she looks old now.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's true. I mean, I think too, just people in Hawaii in general just don't age as much because of everything there. It's cleaner air and the resources are, nice, like the water and just being outside. It's a whole different kind of lifestyle. So maybe that's also part of it.
Mhm.
And I also use sunscreen every day. It was kind of strange because, you live in Hawaii and not a lot of people think too much about it. But even like when I was in high school, I wouldn't go outside without sunscreen, and people would just be making fun of me all the time, and I'd be like, "Just wait, I'm gonna have perfect skin forever."
Nice. We have a watcher right now watching on YouTube. So, Rubina, hi, Rubina. Thank you so much for watching us today and saying hi. And if any of you else are out there watching, let us know where you're watching from. We're just curious to know who you are, and we'd love to say hi to you and do a shout out for you too. So, so then you're drinking this tea because it's like really like but I mean it does have caffeine in it. So
Mhm.
but it's just not like racking your gut and your stomach and causing all these issues like, like
I
I
think
think you said you drink coffee.
Yeah, yeah, I would drink coffee, but I think it was the, aging process that it goes through, and the polyphenols is what I've learned about, and it's because all tea has caffeine, but this tea, I don't know, something about the processing of it kind of doesn't have that effect on you, or at least not on
Yeah,
me.
it's less acidic for sure. Like
Mhm,
aged pour, the
mhm,
way that it just kind of like mellows out, but is strong and dark and really flavorful. So, oh,
mhm.
what are you drinking today? I see you're
Oh
drinking
yeah, that's
something.
what I was gonna say. This is actually the African sunset tea, I think it's called, that you have.
Oh, awesome.
It's
Cool. That
the
one's really good for your
chamomile.
gut too.
It's delicious. It's chamomile and rooibos, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been drinking a lot of chamomile tea lately because I did this food allergy test, or it's like a, I don't know if it's an allergy test or just like, anyways, it something on the list was ginger. And I used to love drinking ginger tea. Ginger was my favorite thing in the whole wide world. And then I did that test and I was like, why is ginger on this list? And so I did. I cut out ginger, and then sure enough, when I had it again, my stomach started hurting. So I was like, oh gosh, it is ginger. But I didn't know because I love it so much. I've been having it like most of my life. I don't know if you love
Oh
ginger.
yeah. And even in your food too. Like a lot of food is cooked
Oh
with ginger.
yeah,
It
and
just
I
tastes
loved
so
it.
good.
I would carry around ginger candies in my purse, and I would
Mm,
just have those all day. It's crazy. So I was so sad, but you know what? Chamomile tea has kind of replaced my ginger tea. That's why I've been drinking it
nice.
a lot. Yeah, I've been happy
Oh,
with this.
oh, good. I'm glad. I'm having in my Yoda mug. I might
Mm,
not be into anime, but I saw like the new like Mandalorian series. Anyways, we had been watching that recently. So my husband
mm,
got me this mug in Oklahoma, and I'm drinking yerba mate actually. So again, like
oh my
not a
god.
tea, but I'm having yerba mate. Have you seen a bombilla before? Like it's this
I
metal straw that has
That
holes on the
looks
bottom of
really
it,
cool.
and so then you
I
sip it
Oh,
and it strains it for you. So the leaves are in there. So traditionally, you actually drink it in a gourd, but my
yeah.
gourd's really small. Like it's really small. It's only this big
Oh
versus a
my god.
gigantic mug because I drink a lot of tea. So
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
I'm just gonna put the straw in my big Yoda Best mug.
That's really cool, the straw. I haven't I don't know too much about yerba mate because I've been kind of scared of it because of, like, how much caffeine it has, or just, like, the effect that it has. I don't know. Do you find it gives you a lot of energy?
I find it gives me a very good calming energy. It really has to do with the quality. Like,
Mm,
so you've taken parts and bits, I think, of the 12-day tea cleanse. And
mm,
so we're doing a tea workshop called the Immune Boosting Tea Workshop, I think that you signed up for.
mhm,
And I'll be going over yerba mate and how actually like the quality of yerba mate really matters because you won't get like the jitters and the anxiety like you do, even though it's like really high in caffeine, because it's a healthier grade of it, a higher quality of it. You have more of a balance of the components. So, like, for example, tea, like the Camellia sinensis plant that makes pour tea or green tea, it actually has more caffeine than coffee does. But
mm.
because of the other components in the plant, it kind of, balances it out and gives you this calming effect that you won't find in coffee. So it's not really just the caffeine that when you isolate that components in beverages, like caffeine is in chocolate, caffeine's in like sodas or soft drinks, caffeine's in tea,
Everything.
and lots of people think like, oh, I can't have caffeine, I can't drink tea. But you know yourself that you
Yeah.
don't feel all jittery, you don't have an upset stomach. But how many people say they're going to cut chocolate? I mean, so many people like chocolate.
I would
So,
never say that.
yeah.
I love
Yeah,
chocolate too.
so and then so really depends on the quality of yerba mate because there's a lot of super powerful health benefits to yerba mate, which
Mm,
include decreasing anxiety. and decreasing the impact and the chances of developing Alzheimer's, and also helping people with like addictions and nervous system problems, and just like anxiety. So even though it has so much caffeine in it, that's where the quality of the yerba mate really matters. Like I'm just having plain yerba mate, and I mean, it does give you like a boost of feeling awake, but because this is a very clean cut and isn't very dusty, like how some tea bags are just like, ugh, like it's all tiny little bits versus your beautiful loose leaf tea. Like the quality is just so much better. So you're not getting like a zap, like a shot, like an espresso shot of everything. And then you kind of feel like jittery or an upset stomach, because you can get an upset stomach from a low quality yerba mate too. So yeah. Oh, we have another person watching. Hi, Leah. Thank you so much for watching. She's also in California too. Leah Fargo.
Hi.
So yeah. So what are you curious about learning more about in the Immune Boosting Tea workshop? I'm going to put like the link if people want to text in and join us for this free workshop that's coming up. Like, what are you interested and curious about? Because I know we were talking on your Instagram live on how like, you're just so fascinated about so much learning, like diving deeper into tea. And like, this is a free workshop that we have for all kinds of people, no matter what kind of background that they're in, and they can learn about tea. So it's kind of like coming together of other people who it's like virtually joining you to a tea shop, right? Who are also interested. So what are you interested in learning more about?
You know what? I think because it's a immune boosting tea, I think what I'm really interested in is what teas are good for your immune system, like exactly how it helps your immune system. I know that there's a lot of nutrients in tea, and green tea. I feel like I know some, but I don't know a lot, and that's why I'm curious, and what teas we're going to focus on, because gosh, I'm gonna have to start drinking more.
Well, I mean, you already drink a lot of tea. I see all your posts. You're drinking tea like all the time, except for that one Jelly Belly drink. I was very fascinated in that one. I've never been to the Jelly Belly factory in California. I've always wanted to. Is it still there?
I don't know, but we just, the stores here always have such interesting things. I think that's why I like living in LA as well, because you can go to the store and find like the craziest things, and I just wouldn't find that anywhere else. And I just found this jelly bean sparkling water, and so I love trying new things like that. So that's why I also love living here, because there's so many options, and I'm looking for like teas at the store all the time, and I'm just like finding amazing things. It's really cool.
Cool. So yeah, the Immune Boosting Tea Workshop, for those of you who haven't signed up yet, you can easily look in the description of this video, or it will start May 2nd. So if you're listening to the audio podcast, we will have just started, but you're free to join us, and you have free access till the end of the week. It's just 5 simple sessions of 30 minutes. So for those of you with busy schedules like Brittany, you might be working or something like that. And then like you can't watch it when I go live, you can watch the replays until the end of the week. So you could actually just binge watch them all. They're pretty easy. They come with a free workbook, so you can take your own notes on it. Every time I teach it live, it's always catered to the people who attend. So whatever questions you have, you can ask your questions in the discussion or on the comments or anywhere. There's many different ways to reach out to me to ask like all of your specific questions and more clarification. And what's really fun is so many different people participate. So you get to see what somebody else is asking about or interested in that you might not have thought about before, or like a different perspective. Just kind of like going to the tea shop and having tea with your friend in Hawaii, or I mean, I could have just imagined like me walking with you like in California. Like I saw the video of like the vegan festival, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so cool. Well, first of all, because we have snow here, so we can't really we don't have any festivals right now. I'm like, I would love to like hang out with her and just like walk around and see what kind of cool things we could find to drink and eat and stuff.
Do they
So
have like farmers markets over there and stuff like that?
yeah, we do. Our farmers market starts May 14th. Hopefully all the snow will be melted. There's still snow outside.
Wow.
But it's warm. It's like 50 degrees during the day now. So it's like shorts and t-shirt weather for us because it's been so cold in the winter. And then it will get up to like 85, 90 degrees here. So where
Wow.
I live is like the largest temperature range. Like it gets to like minus 40 and then up to the 90s. And
Wow.
then right now the sun sets at 11 p.m. Like we almost have 24 hours of daylight right now. So
Wow.
it's a little insane, but when you come and visit, let me know. I'll show you around.
I
But yeah, there's
really
a fun farmers market.
I'm hoping that I can try to plan a visit because I've always wanted to go there, and I think it'd be cool to see your tea house and the farm and stuff. So I think I can try to make it happen. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, and we have like this festival, this big street festival. And for us, we're a small town of like 80,000 people, but that includes both military bases, the university, and like kind of the borough, kind of like a county is 80,000 people. But we have
Hmm.
this annual festival called the Midnight Sun Festival. And it's on summer solstice when there's 24 hours of sunlight. It takes over all of downtown, and there's about 20,000 people like at this 12-hour festival. And there's like
Wow.
concerts and all these stages, and there's a skate park that they build temporarily. And then we serve our food and our drinks and our boba. Like it's so much fun that
Oh
day.
my
So
gosh, that's really
yeah.
cool. That sounds
So
exciting and something that I would love to see. I mean, yeah, that's amazing.
yeah. So, is there anything else that you would like to let everyone know about, like about you, how to find out more about you? Your Instagram. I guess you're on TikTok. I don't use TikTok, so I don't know anything about TikTok. Do you want to let listeners know like where they could see all of your tea posts and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have the same handle for all of my platforms. I'm just on Instagram and TikTok and well, Facebook I'm not as active on and other stuff like that, but I have pretty much everything and it's at Hi Brittany Ann. So it's just HI and then my name, Brittany Ann, with two T's.
Is it like this? Did I put it
Hmm.
up right?
Yeah.
Hi, Brittany Ann. So yeah, follow her post. She's got fun recipes, different adventures that she goes out to do with tea. Pretty much all about tea, right?
Yeah, I'm enjoying like making content about tea right now. It kind of gives me something to do that's fun and when I have the time, it's fun for me to do. So I'm gonna keep making them, keep making videos and stuff.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to see you in the Immune Boosting Tea Workshop that starts May 2nd. So it's May 2nd to the 3, 4, 5, 6 to the 6th. But through the weekend, you can watch the replays. And anyone else who wants to sign up for the free workshop, feel free to text in. So you can text in Immune to this phone number, which is our texting community, and sign up there. And make sure to check out, follow Hi Brittany Ann, right, on
Yeah.
TikTok or Instagram. Check out the really cool things and shows that she's been on. I've been checking out her IMDb profile. And so, yeah, and just support her, encourage her, like, and give her suggestions probably, like other people who are like in the California area or wherever she is, like, hey, have you tried out this recipe? Have you tried out this tea? I'm sure she would love
Oh,
to see what other things are cool and out there.
I would love that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for the Essence of Tea podcast. We're so happy that you were able to join us today. If you love this episode, please like and subscribe and share it out with a friend who you think would be interested in learning more about tea and even learning more about Brittany Ann here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun talking to you.